Hey everybody, this is Dave Dugdale, learningdslrvideo.com. I get dozens of emails every day, and usually I'll get one that says, Dave, your lighting looks awesome. What are you using for lighting? And I've never made a video about this because I kind of thought it was a no-brainer, but the more I thought about it, it's like, there is definitely some information to share. So this one is about lighting. First off, I think they're talking about this particular setup and not the one in my studio in my basement. If you're talking about the one in my studio in my basement, I've done 2 videos on this, so definitely check them out. I will put the links to them below in my blog post. Okay, so this is my office. These are double windows, sliding glass windows that have west light coming in. And here is one window over here that is, this is the south side of the house, so I'm getting southern light coming in from here. Most of the times though, I have shades and I usually block this window, and that's the window shades that you see in the background mostly. Alright, so this is my desk. I just had a custom built desk made because I got tired of using banquet tables, and it's actually translucent. It's a material called 3-form, which is pretty cool because it allows light to come up through. And one of the things that happens is the light that comes from here, which is the majority of the light that's coming in, will bounce off the carpet, which is somewhat of a gray color, and actually pass through the desk, which is kind of neat. This is the actual desk here. So I guess you could call it pretty much 3-point lighting in a way, because here is my main key light. And then off here is usually where I put my reflector, and it's a 42-inch reflector, and then the light that comes in here bounces off of here and then hits me right here. This is me in the chair, and this is the camera on the tripod pointing towards me. And this from here to here is about 8 feet. This is from here to here is about 8 feet as well. And from here to here is about 5 or 6 feet. So in terms of 3-point lighting, this window you could kind of say is a little bit of a light. It never really gives me much of a rim light right here, but it's pretty much 2-point lighting, I guess you say, because this one's usually blocked. Something that I've learned over time is if you put the camera here and you point it straight towards me and I'm looking this way, what you get is very flat light. So if this is my head, let's say, and this is my nose, and the light's coming straight on here, you don't have any contrast on my face basically, and it gives it very bland look to it. And also the thing that's really bad about this is my eyes. When you look at my eye, the pupil, inside the pupil there's a pinpoint right there, and I don't think that looks very good. But when you have me looking off to the side here, now that I'm facing this way, the light's coming here, and then I've got this as the shaded part of my face, and that ratio works out pretty well. But usually it's a little bit too dark, and that's where this 42-inch reflector comes in, is it comes and hits my face and brings it in just a little bit. This reflector I used to use the silver side, but I've actually changed it to the gold side past few months, and I think that gives it a better look. Also, the thing about this reflector, it's actually on the floor. I wish I could get up higher, and I think that would give a better look, because a lot of times what you'll see on my shirt, like on my neck, my shirt right here, you'll see these shadows come, whether they're coming up, you know, if this is my head and this is my shirt, you'll see these shadows in here on my neck, which don't look very good. Now, one of the things about using all natural light, which is awesome, you know, I think there's a thing called CRI. Oh yeah, this is my closet, by the way. I don't know exactly what it means, but the thing that I've learned over time is this color rendition index. The higher the number you get, I mean, light, natural light is, I guess, is as high as you can go, but you get less noise. So anytime you start introducing more light, because I have a track light right here above me that goes this way that has a bunch of different lights in it. And if I turn those on and mix light with the natural light, then I definitely have to white balance. But the thing is, when you introduce more different light of, I guess, a lower CRI, to me, it gives it a very, I don't know, almost noisy look to it. Again, I'm not an expert on lighting, but that's one of the things I've learned over time. So using all natural lighting, I think, is a great way to start for beginners, because you don't have to worry about things so much like the CRI index and some of these other things in terms of the quality of light, because you're already starting off with probably the best light you can get. But one of the downfalls of using all natural light is clouds. So if a cloud should roll in and cover up my light, it changes, you know, the exposure, obviously, and that kind of sucks. So I usually record these from like 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. because after 2 p.m., especially in the summertime, what happens is that all these clouds roll in, and especially if they're going in and out. High wispy clouds don't matter, but definitely at 2 o'clock it becomes kind of a pain in the butt to get your exposure right. And this window acts like just like a huge softbox in a way. Because what happens is, so there's a hill, and this is my house right here, and this is my office window right here, and like my reflector, and you know, I'm sitting here kind of thing. You should love my stick drawings. And here's the camera pointing towards me. So what happens is the light hits, especially at this time of the day, hits this grass. There's grass here, and usually in the summertime it's golden brown or amber. And then that light reflects back and hits this window, and this window kind of creates kind of a big softbox, like right here. Okay, something that has to do with light that is not even on this drawing is the auto lighting, I think it's optimizer, in your camera. When I first started using this, I usually had this set to like one of the medium settings, or sometimes even strong, because what that would do, like on somebody's face, if you had, you know, strong light coming on here and you had a big shadow over here, if you turn this on, it would help even out the lighting a bit better, and you get a better contrast ratio. But as I learned over time, you know, I don't use this as much anymore. In fact, I usually have this just disabled. I don't use it. That has a lot to do with lighting. The other thing that has to do a lot with lighting is your contrast. So how you have it set up in the camera, you can go all the way down to like -4, like people like Philip Bloom always talk about doing that. But to be honest, I usually go about a -3. I haven't gone to the -4 yet. But -3 works really well for me, and that has a lot to do with lighting, just like this does. I mean, you can do all these things you want, but if you don't have your in-camera settings with the look in mind that you're going after, that can definitely hurt. So I try to get the look in camera that, you know, if I'm going after a high contrast shot, then I'll probably set this to 0. But what I usually do is I keep it at -3, and then in post, I usually adjust the levels or fast color corrector type thing in Premiere, and then I up the contrast basically to get to the, you know, the look I'm looking for. But if you start off like here or -4, it gives you a lot of room in post to change it later. All right, since everybody asked what I'm using a Canon T2i 550D. I'm using a Rode video mic that's connected to the camera using Magic Lantern, mostly for the audio. I'm using a 50mm 1.8 lens from Canon. My settings are a 50th of a second, 2.8, ISO 200, because it's about, I don't know, it's about 9:30 and it's not super bright out yet. Sometimes that'll be ISO 100. And I'm using a neutral picture style. When I was first starting, I'm up to like 160 videos, at least right in this particular spot. And when I first started, I used to use a digital calibration target. And this thing's awesome, especially if you're learning. It's also great for other things like white balance and stuff like that. But I've done so many videos here that I kind of know just by the way it looks like on the screen, because I can see myself on the screen and I know what the exposure should be. So I don't even use a digital target anymore for this particular instance. But if you're a beginner, definitely take a look at it. It's an awesome thing. I have it listed on my gear page. In terms of white balance, I used to like do a custom white balance every single time because, you know, I've got the target. But to be honest, when you're using natural light, this is just from my experience, you don't need to do custom white balance. In fact, I use, and I'll probably get in trouble for this, but I use automatic white balance. I just let it do its thing because 99% of the time, it gets it right in this much natural light. If it's going to be a mixed lighting situation, if I were to turn on some of my LED lights, then I would definitely have to custom white balance. Also, just on a side note, rendering has a lot to do with it as well. I do a ton of testing on rendering and I'm always trying to improve it. But I'm going to save that for a different video because that definitely affects the quality of what it looks like when you upload it to Vimeo, YouTube, or wherever. So I'll save that for another video. Hey, if you like the videos that I do here, definitely consider making a donation to keep me motivated to make more if you like the videos. Also, I have a gear page, and if you buy something off the gear page, like off of B&H Photo, it helps support the site, it doesn't cost anything extra to you. And I'm also thinking about developing some training products at some point that I can possibly sell. I don't know, I'm still working on that one. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.